So we caught up about a year ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a minute, but I'm so glad that you were in for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always really had I wasn't a huge Eurythmics fan, but I understand the lineage of like how influential they are, and even Annie Lennox, and just how all of that's kind of permeated popular music. And to
hmm
do a jazz interpretation of it makes total sense to me. So it's great to catch up, to talk about the album Sweet Dreams. So thank you for taking a minute out.
Absolutely. And you got the music, right? You got
Yes,
everything you needed? Okay, cool.
absolutely. It's wonderful. And are you in Denmark right now?
I am. I just
Okay.
got home on Saturday, so I'm a little still kind of like jet lagged a
Uh-huh.
little
I
bit.
bet. Yeah. Well, it's great to catch up. I know before we kind of talked about COVID, so we don't have to get involved with that. Let's just dive into the album. How did this idea get germinated and kind of evolve into what it is as an actual product right now?
Well, I hadn't even thought about the Eurythmics, to be honest. I was invited to perform at an international jazz festival in Tel Aviv, Israel, actually a year ago, and the whole theme of the festival was famous duos. And so there was like Ella and Lewis and Billie Holiday and Lester Young, things like that. Simon and Garfunkel. So it was pretty broad. And I'd gotten to the point where it was narrowed down to me like between like the Eurythmics and the Carpenters. And I love Karen Carpenter's voice, and I have probably too many wonderful memories as a kid singing along to like rainy days and Mondays with one of those big round hairbrushes, laying on the couch and
Uh-huh.
being overly dramatic. Um, and I thought, the idea of the Eurythmics was really intriguing to me. And so, because I enjoyed them, but I wasn't like a rabid fan like some of my classmates were.
Yeah.
Like in choir, I had Danielle Agnew was just like, oh my gosh, you have to listen to this. You have to listen to this. So she was always, putting stuff on me in choir. But I thought, it's really fun to think about music in a way that um, if you can pull away all the digital things, you can pull away all those extra layers and just really break it down into the basic stories and melodies. Are those stories that are still pertinent today? Are there stories that resonate with me as an adult today? And then what can I do to bring a new light onto the lyrics? And so when I started looking into the material that way, going strictly into lyrics and then listening to the songs, uh, it really started to become very clear to me like this is something that was really not just intriguing, but really exciting to see what I could do with it and still be true to the essence of what the songs are about.
So when you do something like this, do you have to reach out to the band? Do you have to reach out to Annie? How does this work to get the blessing and to do it? Is there anything on the back end?
I mean, if you're doing any kind of a cover, whether it's a jazz standard or anything, you have to get the mechanical rights.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's services in the US that you just put in the name of the song, how long the recording is, and then it's like, okay. I mean, as far as I can tell, I don't think either Annie Lennox or Dave Stewart have any clue that I've done this to their music. So,
So
um,
what did you learn about yourself as a musician doing this? All the time, every time you go into a project, you have this, we always build this world up in our minds, but then there's the reality of when you actually get in there and do it. What new thing did you find out about yourself, or what was revelatory about this process?
there were a few things in this that I found really interesting for myself musically. One is that in singing these songs, it's really required something completely different from me as a vocalist. Um, I will never be a power singer like Annie Lennox is, even though she's like almost 70. Um, she's got a voice that nobody else has. I do a cover of Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves, and the other singer on that is Aretha Franklin. I'm not an Aretha Franklin. That's not the style that I normally do. So trying to find my place in uh, those songs to be strong and powerful within myself, but without over singing, really required me to do some other kind of like muscular training within my voice, but also really being aware of not over singing. So that was kind of new territory for me to play with. Um, Also, arranging wise, it's in contrast to other things that I've arranged. Typically, I do a lot of extra hits. I love doing, I'm so influenced by like Oscar Peterson Trio, Ray Brown Trio, Jeff Hamilton Trio, that kind of a thing. I, in this case, because of the stories that are being told, I really decided for the most part to let it really be about the musicians in the band and
Yeah.
not over arranging, leaving space for those collective improvisational moments, leaving space for what each player has to bring to the table, really trusting them more than ever. So it really, the arrangements live in a completely different way depending on who's in the band that day. And with my regular guys, I know how they are, so I knew it was going to be super cool.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of fun with it because it really allowed them to be active participants in a real skin in the game kind of way.
Yeah.
And it's the music is flexible enough too that on this tour that I just completed on the west coast of the US, I had Peter Erskine in my band for 3 concerts. And his touch and approach to the music really shaped it in a completely different way. And it was so much fun and so fresh and really exciting for me to be a part of, no matter who I've had in the band.
Yeah. What are you hoping the listener gets from this interpretation of this songbook?
I hope they feel hope, that a lot of these songs are about like, let's take better care of each other,
Yeah.
that we have more in common than we have apart. I think a lot of these songs are about finding and owning your own power as an individual, not to put anybody else down, but to be secure in who you are. I think there's a lot of those messages in these songs. Um, I hope for those that are people who are Eurythmics fans see it as a loving tribute that makes them see themselves in the music in maybe a little different way and bring back great memories from when they first heard it. And for jazz fans who are like, Eurythmics, what? That they are now exposed to a new set of tunes that can relate to them now and without it having to be within that traditional Great American Songbook repertoire. Because I think the songs are strong.
Yeah. So what about live shows, promotion, what's coming up, and where can people pick up a copy that's going to benefit you the most?
Probably on Bandcamp. I'm on all the digital platforms, so if that's where you hear your music, then go for it. If you want to download or get a hard copy, Bandcamp is probably the most beneficial to me because I get most of that money, especially if you do it on the first Friday of the month, or what they call Bandcamp Friday. That helps me most. Share it with friends. Tell people about it. Find a song that's your favorite. Let me know. That's always cool.
Yeah, for sure. Kristin, thank you so much. Thanks for opening up. I'm looking forward to profiling it on Neon Jazz, and this has been such a wonderful expose, backstory on it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Best of luck, and hopefully we catch up here in the future again.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care.